And we're back. Hello and welcome. We just couldn't stop casting tonight. We're on a roll, so we decided to pick up game number 2 of the other Nexus series that's going on right now. We are casting LTK Rock Bottom versus Minion Miners throughout the first game of this set, but now we're on to Boogans Forever versus ProBUs. ProBUs being the 4th seed, Boogans being the 5th seed. ProBUs has won game 1. They went to, and I'll pull up the maps here. Boogans took them to Towers of Doom. ProBUs ended up coming out the victor, and now ProBUs has chosen Dragonshire as we go into game number 2 with Boogans Forever having first pick. So I'm gonna indicate that we're ready here, and then excited to delve into this this other Nexus playoffs match. We had an upset victory with 8 seed. Overtaking the first seed with Minion Miners. So
Yep.
let's see what Boogans and ProBUs does here if they move it to a game 3 or if this will be another domination tonight.
Like to see a game 3 just because we missed game 1,
Yeah, kind of
So,
balance it out. So for our sake, make sure there's a game 3. I'd love to see a game 3 as well. Both of these are excellent teams. Boogans had some really shining moments this season, as did ProBUs. They both performed very similarly, did a great job. I think either one of these teams has the capacity to really shine tonight.
yeah, wouldn't surprise me if either of these teams really ended up in the finals or on top as the grand champ. They both have that kind of talent, and Minion Miners brought it, and we'll see who they go up against next as we wait for this game to kick off.
That's right. All right, so going into this game, we'll talk about the bans. They're saying ready now. ProBUs ended up banning Infernal Shrines and Battlefield of Eternity, both maps that Boogans has done very well on this season. Boogans banning Sky Temple and Volskaya, which I think is pretty standard for them. And maps they just don't want to see played. Okay, here we go. Moving into the draft of game number 2. Can't wait to see how this plays out.
Yeah, a little bit awkward being inserted now, but here we go. The Anduin taken out first.
Yeah, we're missing a lot of context from what happened game 1, but I'm excited. I'll treat this fresh with clean perspective and new eyes.
Yep, my virgin eyes.
That's
Here
right.
we, here we go. Uh, I'm interested to see if that was a response pick, though. I know they do play a fair bit of Anduin. It might be something they didn't like seeing game 1, or it could be something they have in their back pocket. It looks like the Anub is taken out. 8-bit, fairly good Anub, but a strong tank nonetheless.
Well, I will say ProBUs plays a lot of Anub and a lot of Mei, which it looks like they're banning out the Mei, as well as Irby's Anduin. Xiao? I can't pronounce your name right, and I apologize. I humbly ask for your forgiveness. However, he is also an incredible Anubarak player, and I think ProBUs is recognizing that, and they're just preempting the ban. What you're doing, though, here is taking out the top 2 tanks for ProBUs and the top tank for Boogans Forever, so I'm interested to see how the rest of this shakes out, as well as the Chromie ban. Thundercat with that instant Stukov pickup, leaving the Rhaegar on the field. Interested to see that's prioritized at all. It was not the previous game we just casted. Okay, Deckard picked up, along with Tychus. Preemptive pick against the tank. Johanna's picked up, very strong tank at this moment. Something sounds pretty comfortable on. I think she's pretty straightforward to play.
Just realized my sage-like wisdom was being spoken into a muted mic.
Oh,
So
well,
I'm not
whatever you
sure if you
say.
heard anything about
Nope.
Stukov.
I'm sure it was
Okay.
brilliant, though.
I'll give you the Cole's notes.
Okay.
Playing against Thundercats and Irby on this hero really sucks. They're both extremely competent on the hero. I expect it to be highly contested between both teams moving forward.
Yeah.
What do you think about Tychus on this map? We just saw it in the previous cast.
I think he's strong. He's a little bit weak on camp capture. You can mitigate that with wave clear and camp capture using the W talents. I think it's more of a counter against potential tank options. I'm interested to see if they go into the variant against the Johanna, though. It's definitely a possibility here. We do see it picked up as well as the Rhaegar, which is very strong right now. So we'll see probably a totem build Rhaegar. Whoa!
Offlane Joe.
Offlane Johanna, ladies and gentlemen. Which I'm actually impressed to see. Dahaka will beat Johanna, but it'll take Dahaka the late game for it to happen. And suddenly, they've picked their tank focus against the wrong tank. Now, Tychus is very good against Diablo, however, but the Medivh is going to provide a ton of mitigation against that. So I'm really, excited to see what happens here.
And Deathwing.
And Deathwing. Oh, this is going to be crazy. I think Hypercarry Greymane has the ability to pull it off against the heroes that he's faced with. Obviously, going to do a ton of damage to the Deathwing. The Medivh is an excellent counter to a variant taunt. This is just going to be a game of who can control the map better, and I don't know what the answer to that is, to be honest.
Yeah. Honestly, I did say it might have been a possibility in the previous game we casted, but I think ProBUs has run this against us, or this kind of formation where the variant Tychus, Rhaegar are going to be roaming, and the Dahaka might anchor bottom and just wave clear. So we will see what happens. Joe is not an easy target to pick, but Medivh being there really kind of hampers their ability to blow up a target from that 4 to 10 range.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I think both teams drafted very well. I'm excited with Boogans' draft. I'm intrigued by what ProBUs has to offer here. I think it's going to be very strong. Okay, going into game number 2 of this set. Once again, for those that just joined, we missed game 1. We were casting something else. We're excited to be here. We have Quark on Dahaka, 8-Bit playing Barry, and Muffin on Tychus, John Bunyan playing the Deathwing, and Irby on Rhaegar.
And we have Campbellas on Greymane, Non-Champ on Medivh, Xiao on Diablo, Thundercats on Stukov, and Tompies on Joe.
Right away, a bit of a back and forth. A lot of damage goes out onto, or Muffin gets zoned pretty quickly, but there's a lot of control here. Definitely have an advantage against the variant this early with, tree level 4, him being a really great minion. Basically, so.
Absolutely. He's even wearing the little green army man skin. That's about as effective as he is pre-4.
That's right. Lion's Maw build for the healing, I'm assuming, on the variant. We do get, race car build on the Dahaka, so he's going enhanced agility, so he's moving very fast around this map. I'm intrigued by the auto attack range on the Tychus. A lot of aggression from Boogans, 3-4, with the Medivh really allowing that with the portals.
Yeah, it looks like Boogans wants to jump on their bruiser camp right away. ProBUs opting for the siege.
I really like this. I think one of the things that that ProBUs is going to struggle with here is potentially the camp clear. Dahaka isn't the best at this. They also don't have the best camp capture.
Tychus almost got punished for poking his nose out there, but it looks like there's a party top lane.
And it looks like it might be Varian who ends up paying for this pre. No, they can't actually close the distance. Tompi's kind of looking at that there. I think this Greyman is better set up to be a hyper carry, but we're gonna see how that goes as the game goes on.
Yeah, these are wild drafts, honestly. These are really interesting. They both did a good job of kind of shutting down parts of what the other team wanted to do. I saw they had Medivh against the Deathwing here for a little bit. That's not the greatest matchup, but looks like they've returned bottom.
Using these portals to very quickly look at camps. Deathwing is going to scout it out. However, they have 3 people mid right now, which seems like definitely an overcommitment to that lane. Considered looking at a pick top, ended up not going for it, and is rotating down instead, knowing they have to counter these bruisers. Props to Boogans at this point for being as aggressive as they are this early. They're really putting ProBUs on the back foot. However, the camp is going out and pushing in top. Johanna's going to have a really hard time clearing that. Flip goes out onto Tychus. He's going to walk away through the silence. Once again, this silence kind of zoning. It takes the Deathwing kind of pushing that away. Most of wall on bottom. Whoa, Diablo going in really far. I'm assuming there's a portal there to get him out. Yep, looks like it. And he's going to take it. Goes back in though.
The Medivh, I'll tell you that much. Dahaka dig in, Quark.
This is now a 5-man. A lot of going out onto the Medivh, and the Medivh does go down, and that's a shame. That stacks already this early, as well as the Diablo, who was about halfway on souls, not right there. That 5-man rotate was very strong, and Johanna's lost all of that top wall to that camp, because as weak as Deckard's, I mean, Dahaka's wave clear is on a camp, so is Johanna's.
Yeah, Tom actually opting to go into the subdue for more control in fights rather than the wave clear talent on 4. So we'll see how that plays out later. Speaks to Joe being a bit more involved then as the game progresses, rather than kind of a double soak bot.
Non-champ kind of here ends up opting to delay. Delays once. That was enough to control bottom. Well played from non-champ on that delay. But I don't know that Johanna ever wins this top lane. What I would kind of like to see out of Boogans right now is a prioritization of the entire 4-man bottom. Let Johanna double rotate. Medivh kind of keeping vision on the enemy team is fine. Medivh is mid. This is a full engage. Silence on the Stukov does a great job of stopping follow-up. However, John Bunting is kind of looking for that root on the Stukov in order to, prime all of that heavy Q damage right away, which is, I think, a smart game plan here. They fully blocked in the Deathwing. Deathwing's gonna fly out completely. There's a 4v4, now it's a 5v4. Oh, Cork actually lands the tongue on the Stukov. That heal and the protect is gonna be just enough as they walk away. Silence goes out, a lot of damage on the Tychus, and he goes down. Xiao really low, but trying to maintain the damage on the Varian. Ends up taking the portal to escape.
He is an auto attack Diablo, which is something definitely to note. So he's going to be in there, and he's going to be looking to camp his diabolic booty right there and just whack on Varian. Interesting, actually, choice into the taunt Varian, as it's just going to force him to smack and heal himself when he is taunted, if he is taunted.
Yeah, I would agree. Wow, very solid move in. Fire gonna do a lot of damage, but being protected right away and take most of it. The silence is pretty big, and it ends up at the Varian kill, and they're gonna get that camp. 10's just a moment earlier than ProBUs. Diablo with his souls turned on. One thing I want to call out, Raven form on the, or Raven familiar rather, on Medivh. That's speaking towards a very aggressive team. Yep. That when they teleport in, that Raven that you see kind of flying around Diablo there, that's going to give us slow. It's a 30% slow, so that's nothing to be balked at.
No, it's very effective. Few people in Storm League will take the portal unless it leads to their death. But when you have a coordinated team, Medivh can be extremely effective, and the ability for Diablo just to kind of sit in front of Deathwing's fire and not care is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they're being super aggressive against a Varian comp, and it's paying off for them. Honestly, they're able to get some good rotations through.
Looking at this potential pick on the Stukov. 4 people here, and he doesn't know. Now he knows. Big time does he know. Uses the dig very early, still needs some time to escape. Diablo's going to do the rotate, accidentally pulls someone else. The falling sword is going to help with the escape along with the Medivh stasis.
Yeah, that was massive. Thundercats was out there either trying to body block or massive. Did he go shove? Yeah, he did. I think he was trying to shove him back into forts. Joe was able to bail him out.
Big delays. Big potential engages. Taunt goes out on the Diablo. Muffin's trying to cap. Cambella's not letting him. The continuous delay. Medivh just popping out of Raven form. Xiao is going to get feared away. So is Stukov. Lots of damage going out top lane on Campbell as he's trying to escape. Quark's on his tail. Muffin's also on his tail with the W, and he ends up getting the kill with the grenade. Xiao is by himself, surrounded by 4 people from ProBUs. Non-champ trying to get him out. He's walking away. They're going to get the Dragon Knight as they push it down mid. Xiao gets a portal. I think he escapes at this moment. So it's just going to be Campelos down in that team fight. First Dragon Knight of the game, level 12.
It's a lot of their DK burn, though, and in fact, it's most of it. But he'll be up in not too long.
I do believe this is going to be the 4th with the number of heroes they have right here. Campbell is just now getting up. They probably will rotate this bottom to soften that lane just a little bit. However, this is going to be the one that they're able to defend. First bullet going to put some immediate damage on these things. He's going to get kicked out right away. Non-champ potentially providing a portal for him to get back really quickly. Let's see if that... Xiao getting protected from a ton of that damage. I wonder if he's going to go the... Yeah, he went the cooldown reduction on the protect, which makes a lot of sense. Potentially the... Yeah, and the arcane explosion as well. So if he pretends a ton of damage, it does a lot of damage back in an AoE fashion. It does 103 damage to nearby heroes plus 50% of the damage it prevents. Up to a total of like 600 and something with the additional. As that scales, that's going to be a ton of AoE damage late game, so they're going to have to be careful about that fire.
Fire, the minigun, they have a lot of burst, obviously, to follow up the Varian. It's going to become key when and if he can get that shield off, or if he's the one getting taunted.
Yeah.
Here's
Okay,
the ley line.
isolated. Ley line goes out. Xiao follows up with the VR. Protection is not quite enough. A lot of damage goes out on Sound Diablo, and then the full heal on Quark is going to be a huge game changer. That's just Souls, so Diablo's up very quickly. However, Souls is a huge thing to have forced out. Quark taking a ton of damage. I think he's going to get away with Race Car. It's very low. However, it's Greymane being targeted. He's going to teleport away. Quark's still taking a ton of damage. Now it's Tom Peace. It's a little bit out of position. Gets the protect, and then Tahaka ends up dying. Falling Sword going out, looking at 8-bit. He's now isolated completely alone on the team. He goes down as well. Teleport goes out. Still looking. Non-champs going in. The rest of the team all with slows with those Ravens. That massive fear from Deathwing, rather. 5-man fear, I think, is going to fully disengage that.
I think both of those kills were actually procced off of the Medivh shield that you were talking about. And speaking of Medivh, he just finished his stacks.
My husband.
It's great to see. It's always a frustrating death when you die before then.
Enemies.
However, even on kills, level 15, 4-4. Pretty massive structure advantage over to Boogans. Nothing that can't be mitigated, especially with them pushing in bottom with this camp. That could lead to bottom fort. I don't believe they're getting Dragon Knight off of those kills. Top Bruiser is pushing. Johanna's gonna have a hard time with that. So yeah, taking a lot of damage. Ooh, and that's Diablo going down. That's a pretty big death. The fort does go down as well, though, so potentially all right. I'd like to see Johanna down that top objective pretty quick. Non-champ in trouble if he doesn't have his portal. It doesn't look like he does. He's already gotten his quest done though, so that's all that matters, right?
Stacks.
Free death at this point. If you get your quest done, you deserve to die a couple times. Just have some time off. Time to yourself. Johanna does end up getting that objective just like captured. He's a little nervous about staying on it, so just kind of clears it, neutralizes it. They're diving this fort hard. 8-bit looking for some people. Falling Sword ends up getting baited out just to aid the escape. Timepiece uses that. We don't see Varian going to the Shield Breaker talent. Instead opting for healing reduction, which I think is smart on someone they're trying to burn. However, it's going to make Johanna worry a lot less when it's a 5v5.
Yep. If she's not the target, then she has the ability to blind the Tychus.
Quark actually soaking the damage of the bullet for the Deathwing. A lot of damage from Deathwing, and now that it's 16, that's AoE. That's going to do a lot here. Tompi's having to back away as he's very low. 8-bit ends up getting the kill. Kimbella's also very low. Watching the stun, he gets the protect. Xiao now going to take a ton of that damage from the Q. However, with the portals, I think that's a full disengage. Just losing to Johanna here. But once again, mid, Muffin's capturing that Dragon Knight.
Now it burns.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of these fights are chaotic. They could go either way. I think that Deathwing level 16 is really doing some work here. That was nasty.
Yeah, what that's going to do is, with that AoE and that damage over time, it's going to mitigate the value from the shield that it's been getting up until this point. Because it'll do damage after it's been completed. On-champ protecting that kick. Don't think this is going to end up in a keep.
Yeah, great defense so far.
Yeah, great defense. So what changes in this game? Level 20s get picked up. There's potential for the contagion splash with the isolation on Dahaka, which could be a pretty massive silence. Obviously, Johanna's Falling Sword.
Yeah,
update gets pretty crazy with the resets, heals and damage.
Medivh cheats if he opts into that. They haven't really been able to get the value out of the Leyline APOC. I'm sure they were hoping to yet, but landing one of those, as we saw in our previous series, all you need is one good fight.
That's right. That's absolutely right. I think with Medivh's cooldown reduction on his ult at level 16, you're going to see a lot more ley lines more often. Immediate engage on Muffin. Lots of damage. Ends up going for the Varian instead, distracted a little bit.
Yeah, Dahaka did a nice job of actually hitting Medivh with his ultimate, so he couldn't shield there.
Medivh providing a lot more vision here. Timepiece able to kind of step up here. They're down 20, but they do get the camp with the help of the ley line. Quark is in the back line just sitting, but now we have Falling Sword being used. John Bunyan using that fly to engage. Varian kind of sharking here, mounted fully, looking for that engage. Everyone's trying to back away at this point. Xiao might just be a prisoner of war casualty here.
Yeah, looks like he was trying to peel for Campbellas. He had full souls, so he knew he'd be back. If you're gonna sacrifice anyone, you know, it sucks to be lower souls on Diablo, but it sucks harder to be out of the playoffs. So I think that was a heroic effort. For him
now that you put it in perspective.
Yes.
Having to send Muffin back, he's probably their only like really solid wave clear with that camp pushing in far. There's also a siege camp pushing in against Boogans for ProBUs, so we'll see what happens here. I don't really see them capitalizing on their level 20 as much as I'd hoped they would. Boogans understanding they're probably on bottom bruisers if we don't see them, so let's take top bruisers. Them taking long on that, however, is going to be free damage on that keep, and I think this keep's just going to go down potentially before they adjust, especially with this turret from the the Tychus kind of outputs the keep.
Yeah, I think they'll be able to press it down. But 20s are around the corner. Let's see if Boogans can kind of hold on here.
Just losing the keep as they were backing away. Boogans does have top camp pushing. I think they have to move as a group, potentially off vision. We're using the Medivh to understand where the rest of them are and try to go for a pick.
Looks like the Hawk is probably going to get channel top. There's more than likely a team fight mid, but ProBUs is actually going to play the map smartly.
No, I was just going to say that I think Roomboy, the Boogans were trying to get for a pick in that rotate mid. They ended up not doing it at all, like you said, smartly playing the map. They're on the off foot now. I need to see Johanna either getting top or joining the fight mid.
Getting tongued
kind of
right
separated for a second.
And Muffin's channeling.
Muffin gets it. I think they ignore the team fight at this point. They have to try to finish the fight and then go back and clear. They do end up getting the Dahaka kill. Clears in the reset. It's a 30-second cooldown on Falling Sword. They have pulled the Dragon Knight.
Just off on that combo with that ley line. But very close.
Yep. Medivh's almost got his cooldowns back up for that ley line again with that cooldown reduction at 16. Hellgate for the Diablo, upgrade on Shove for Stukov, upgrade on Falling Sword obviously for Johanna. The splash damage for Greymane. Teleport, aggressive engage. Both the tanks immediately going in, looking at the back line. Dragon Knight's going to kick out the healer. Irby's going to use his heal right away. Lots of damage, gets AoE'd and then healed immediately. Leyline comes out again, hits everyone but 8-Bit, who's going to kind of get isolated. Top piece going to clear top.
Medivh's cheating so far fairly effectively. Really good ley lines, both fights to disengage.
I'd agree. Yeah, that was a pretty effective delay as they go. Them opting just to get some damage on mid-keep, rather. I think at the beginning they wanted to send this Dragon Knight towards the core, but that just became a non-option. Once again, Leyline comes out, hits everyone but Falling Sword comes out, doesn't quite hit as they'd hoped to. Lots of damage on Sal. 8-Bit getting hit. Oh, it just misses on the APOC.
Rhaegar though.
Oh my goodness. God. Rhaegar's low, but so is, look at this Greymane, he's so low. Thundercat's going to get pushed. The shove. Everyone's just barely getting out. Oh my gosh, 20 health. 16. So low, and there's another ley line from Medivh. Holy smokes.
Yeah, what a game. This is nuts.
Crazy. Oh, look, another engage. They just don't stop. And Deathwing just flew, trying to get some heal back. Xiao trying to close the distance on, and he does on the Dahaka. Dahaka so much damage, but ends up getting his heal off. John Bunny ends up opting to drop again. Not full health. Teleport in again. Falling Sword used. 8-Bit damage going out. Muffin trying to do damage as well. Diablo dives in under the fort. They're just going for it. Oh, so much damage from that Deathwing. No, Campella's really low, and he's going to end up going down here, I have to imagine, as well as Diablo. Heal goes out on the Dahaka. He's got race car. He's going to get very speedy. He ends up going straight for it. Thundercat's definitely going to get caught. Medivh cheats, is trying to escape. Thundercat's going to lead them on a wild goose chase. Is it enough of a delay? He heals himself. He mounts. Irby's like, do I go for him? Do I not? Thundercats ends up getting out, which is incredibly surprising to me.
So hard to pass those skills up, but going for the core is definitely the right play here.
Yeah, would definitely agree. Tom Peace is able to use his ultimate. Gets a little bit of cooldown reduction on it, 38 seconds. Now they're going on this. How do they delay the core? They do not have great core pressure, ProBUs. It's definitely not bad, especially when they're at 5v3, but without Medivh, excellent stasis. push goes out. Non-champ is going to end up going down from the Stuka, but this is game number 2 going over to ProBUs. GG. And that's a domination for this set of the playoffs.
Yep, that'll do it. ProBUs will face Minion Miners.
Well played. Well played indeed. We didn't get to see game 1, but if it was anything like game number 2, it was a hard-fought series. Like, pretty amazing play by both sides, really back and forth. Really cool to watch.
Yeah, honestly, kind of bummed we missed the game 1. If it was that exciting, game 2, Boogans put it out there. As I was saying in our previous cast, sometimes you get choked up, you play conservative because you don't play to win in the playoffs. That definitely wasn't the case. They were aggressive. There was certain aspects that I'm sure they'd like to have back, but I thought they played extremely well. Hats off to them. They had a great season. ProBUs just eked this one out, honestly, and Tychus doing an absolutely absurd 107,000 damage. Definitely something of note, and Thundercats healing 108 just to one up them.
Yeah, absolutely. That was quite a bit from both teams. Tychus going into that full, just complete trait build in order to maximize the fact that he's playing against double tank, hypercarry Greymane, and played really well into what he was going for. I'd say the Medivh played really awesome. It was really cool watching a lot of those protects and teleports. The aggression was pretty amazing, but at the end of the day, ProBUs' ability to survive, I'd say largely Rhaegar played a huge part of that. As much as Medivh was countering the single target nature of ProBUs' team, Rhaegar's ability to just put a massive, ancestral heal on the Greymane's target, which is really the only kill pressure that Boogans Forever had, ended up being, mitigating basically the only play that they had in their,
Yep.
their pocket.
But let's hear it from the horse's mouth themselves. It looks like 8-Bit and Muffin have joined us. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you very much.
How's it going? That was a great set to watch. We were really sad we missed game 1.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was a phenomenal series, but I totally lost my train of thought there.
Well, let me jump in. I'll just say I'll ask the first really insightful game of game 1, question for game 1, which is what happened, because we weren't there. Was there like a lot of work that you guys did ahead of going into these games, like scouting? Did you have a plan going into that first game? It was on towers. That goes late. There's obviously the objective is the only win condition. What was your plan kind of going into this set against Boogans?
Well, I personally did not expect us to go to Tower of Doom, so we had virtually zero prep for this map.
Okay.
And we kind of just thought back to ourselves and looked inside our souls, and we asked, what does ProBUs do on Towers of Doom? And we went from there.
Just the age-old question. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. That one ended up in a win, so I guess we'll focus on game number 2. Broomboy, do you have anything right off the bat?
For game 2, yeah, I do. It seemed like you picked the Varian to counter the Joe. I might be mistaken in that. Was the offlane switch something that took you by surprise, or did you think that might be in the cards?
I think the offlane switch took. I think the offlane switch took half of us by surprise. There was when a Diablo was late picked in draft. There was a couple of oohs and ahs in comms, but I did actually have it in my mind that was a possibility for something that they could do when they selected the Joe early. The variant to some degree was was drafted to counter the Joe, since there's a lot of pressure that you can put onto a Joanna. It also, in part, was sort of taken as a deny because there was the idea in the back of our minds, comboing with a Stukov.
Right.
If you flex the Joe to the off lane, Varian becomes a very nice synergy for Stuk. So there was a two-pronged advantage there towards the Varian.
Two-part series, and I was noting, I'm not sure how the drafts in game one went. If I were to hear the two teams were playing, I would assume Stukov is probably pretty contested, as you both have a pretty strong Stukov player. Was that the case in game one as well, or?
Zukov was first ban game one, so he never made a chance to have an impact on the draft. Well, he had an impact on the draft, just not on the match itself.
Not on the game. Right.
Oh, did you have anything?
I mean, I think the Rhaegar getting as late as it did was surprising. I think the fact that both teams kind of went into a hyper carry mindset. Obviously, Deathwing does a lot of mage damage, but you know, with the Medivh pickup, a lot of it kind of rested on the shoulders of Tychus and Greymane for each of the respective teams. What was the kind of the turning point in your mind? And I guess I have my own idea of this. In the game where you felt like you were really able to take control of the team fights?
In game two, for me, I figured like we kind of just have to hold on for a while because we like Medivh is just so phenomenal at blocking our single target damage, especially from me and from our taunt. And like all of our I mean, we only have pretty much single target CC in general, other than like a little AoE Deathwing stun. But actually, Tychus and Deathwing both have insane level 16 power spikes, where Deathwing just suddenly gains a gigantic amount of AoE damage.
Yeah.
And you know how like that team is 4 melee heroes and they clump like nobody's business.
Right.
Yeah, it's something we called out for sure. John Bunyan was just roasting people. You also did like an incredible amount of damage at well over 100,000. Is that a build you're kind of
well,
like your go-to, or is that kind of something you flexed into?
Oh no, this is definitely a flex. There are definitely several Tychus builds you can go nowadays, and this one is better for sure at dealing with. Well, when you want to scale, then this is the thing you go. So.
Right. Well, what was there was obviously a lot of pressure taken out. I saw kind of one of the weaknesses of each team game two was the fact that the camp clear was a little bit difficult when either team had a camp pushing. Tychus having to go back if there was a siege camp pushing bottom versus, Dahaka maybe needing some help or taking a little bit of damage. Same with Johanna, though, when she had trouble clearing camps. There was a prioritization on camps rather than team fights at a couple different points. What kind of role do you believe that played in like the prioritization factor of game number two?
I feel like the camps were just sort of a necessity in order to make space on the map. As you said, I don't know if the camps in of themselves had a massive impact. I can't recall a situation or too many situations where I felt like our team was unable to do what they wanted to do on the map because they were swarmed by camp pressures. That being said, if we don't put that prioritization on our camps and we don't attend to them, make sure ours are up, theirs are down, then I think you do get that kind of pressure.
Right.
So it's camps for just doing camp things. It's a necessary evil, we'll say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Evil in that they're less fun to kill than heroes.
Yeah, and I guess the main thing was because of the team comps we had, it took more resources from both teams than you may typically see from better junglers in order to make sure that camps are clear or camps are up at any given time. I
got
think
something I'd
yeah,
like to
go
ask
ahead,
them as
Prim.
well.
Yeah.
So we just came hot off the press of the first game of the night. So your opponents, I'm not sure if you guys know, will be minion miners, and they did say they wanted to see you guys because they wanted some revenge. So I'd love to get your take on that. If you have any WWE style trash talk, now is your moment. I want you guys to sell this fight, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Oh my god, Minion Miners won for real?
For
Yeah,
Oh
real.
my
yeah.
god! Oh
Yeah.
my
AC
god!
picked out LTK. Yeah.
I'm actually tearing up right now. Oh my god!
Sweet.
I really wanted to play them again, dude. Did you know they played Cho'Gall against us in our last match? And I was so excited.
I got
Like,
news for you.
oh my
They played
god.
Cho'Gall again.
And won.
Yeah, you guys
2-0.
should watch that set.
Oh
They
man, it makes
dominated
me so
LTK.
happy.
Yeah.
It brings me like a thrill like no other to like take down a raid boss like that. Oh,
Well, that's very polite. I was looking for something more vitriolic. 8-bit, do you have any trash talk you'd like to lobby towards minion miners, or are they just too nice of people that you wouldn't dare?
I am very excited to hear that they're advancing and our opponents that we get to square off in the following round, because I know that Tard in particular felt very dissatisfied with what he brought to the table in that previous match. He was really hoping to land that 5-man Maw. So hopefully they will give us another shot at Tard's redemption.
There you go.
So both teams looking for a little redemptive exhibition in this
Yeah,
this
the
next
full
playoff.
four men and a Maw was just not enough for Tard. It was a dissatisfying hit for him.
Well, and I'm assuming this wasn't the Cho'Gall game, unless we're counting Cho'Gall as 2. So.
Oh no. The Cho'Gall was a different and much more harrowing adventure.
Okay. Well, I
exciting
can't wait to
adventure.
see. Yeah, exciting. I'm sure. I can't wait to. I'm thrilled to see what this matchup's going to be. Look forward to watching out for it. So they put an excellent showing. You'll have to watch that stream and kind of see what they played earlier in the night. But you guys also an amazing showing. Excellent fights back and forth. At least game number 2, which is what we saw here. I assume it was, equally interesting game number 1. So, looking forward to the future. All right. Do you guys have shout outs as we close it out?
Huge shout out to the probes tonight, Irby, John Bunyan, Muffin, and Quark, plus our probe on the sideline, Sage. You got a special spot in our heart, bud. Shout out to all of the pro pals who tune in and watch our games. Shout out to Boogans Forever for being great competitors and fantastic sports, and also having one of the most fun senses of humor in Nexus Div. Shout out to NGS for organizing all of this. I know it's a huge labor of love for each one of the mods who coordinates this. Shout out to you guys, the casters. Hope you enjoyed the show. And shout out to my lovely wife and beautiful son.
Great. All right.
Well,
Muffin, anything to add?
Oh, absolutely. For me, just one shout out to Minion Miners. So excited to play you guys again, and I cannot wait to see how high you guys can raise my KDA.
Whoa, there we go.
Wow,
That's more like it.
There's the trash talk we were looking for.
Love it, Muffin. Love it.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Looking for that stat boost. Got to make those
We
all-stars at the end.
we all know that Muffin is the probe king of trash talk.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean,
Well, it's good to see it.
we'll have to take this into the text channel and bring their ability to respond with a little banter of their own. So, thank you so much for joining. We appreciated doing the cast. It was great. Fun one to watch. We look forward to catching what you do in the future. And then who knows? Maybe this will be a repeat of last season where, you know, there's an ability for us to see you guys again at the end. So
Would love it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
we'd love
All
it
right.
too. Later, y'all.
All right, guys. Bye.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Got spicy at the end there, Feldroth.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, I'd love to just play him again. I think they're like probably some of the best teams, like, and they've shown some really excellent like season over season victory. I think they won Div B, right? And then they went to Div A, went to grand finals, and now they're in Nexus. So they're just like season after season showing some really excellent growth, play, competitiveness, sportsmanship, just great stuff. So
Yeah, strong team. Minion Miners also super strong showing tonight.
Yeah.
We might have to pick that one up. I might be the hype man, do my Don King action and promote it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was awesome. Really looking forward to seeing that match next.
Absolutely. Yeah. A little bit of trash talk coming out. You spurred it just barely, talking about the raising the KDA. So I think you'll have to, at the bare minimum, make an offer out to the chat for mini miners to respond. Kind of spur this, like what you said, this hype man action like you've got going on for this this future matchup. So excited to see it.
Yep.
All right. That is the end of our second cast of the night, which we picked up both of them spur of the moment.